Well, hello you gorgeous mother truckers you, and welcome to another video. So, how many times now have we all said, well, that's it, I've done a video just recently, he's on his green mile, he's a dead man walking, he's gonna go, yet somehow this goddamn stubborn son of a bitch continues to be there. I don't know what he needs to do to make himself removable. I know he doesn't want to be. He's the kind of narcissistic, dictatorial, should I say, arsehole. He won't go unless he's dragged out kicking and screaming. He just really won't. But it's literally scandal after scandal after scandal, lie after lie after lie, and he's still there. Sometimes I think it's because it's what we all want. It's, because it's a step in the right direction, get rid of him. But in reality, and it sometimes pains me to have to say it, but in reality, if you look at those people who could potentially replace Starmer, after a couple of months of them being in charge, I think you'd be begging for Starmer back. His recent visit with Trump, or Trump coming to visit him, should I say, more accurately, and Trump basically destroyed him live on stage, yet he just pretends. It was a perfect example, shall we say, of the fact that he just doesn't listen and doesn't care. When you've got another world leader telling you that basically, to solve your immigration, I've told you need to get the troops out and this, that and the other, and he's basically treating you like a twat live in front of your face, then you just get, you don't know what you're doing. It's as simple as that. It's NPC Starmer, the man who only can read what's off a piece of paper. That's it. He has nothing. And I suppose the one unifying part of it is the fact that he's universally hated by everyone, left and right. Literally, I suppose that could be the mark of his premiership, is the fact that he's the only man who can actually unite the country in universally hating him. I don't know. I suppose that's some sort of achievement. Also the fact that, he's managed to absolutely, with the rest of his Labour Party, absolutely and completely and utterly destroy this country. Even now, if the Labour government went now, it would take a biblical effort to try and get this country somewhere like back on its feet, which of course is something we all have to acknowledge and understand, that whoever gets in power next has got to have balls of steel, because it's going to be really difficult. And then this is my other worry about the election, of course, if we have one, because you can't put it past Starmer and the Labour government to think up something. Well, they are trying to think something up. This is why they want their civil war. They want us all actually physically fighting each other in the streets, because then they can bring in martial law, just like in the Ukraine, when there's martial law, you can't have elections. They're suspended until so you can see how it's going. He has a one in, one out migrate policy with France, and so far we've actually managed to send back 2. We've had about 3,000 back in return, but we've sent back 2. The very first 2 flights that went out, the first one was called the pilot flight, because that's all, the only person who went was the pilot, and the second plane was full of journalists, but no one. And that shows you the level of mental insanity that the Labour Party and especially Starmer has. They are literally, they were whooping with joy that they managed to send back a single one one immigrant. That's it. I mean, they keep going on, oh, we've sent back 86,000. Well, yeah, you maybe have, but you did that, well, for one, paying most of them $3,000 to go. And also, since you've said that, you've managed to send back one. I mean, that's the sum total of your successes. So you pretend that you've got some sort of awesome deal with the French, which everybody sees as not even solving the problem. Even if you do one in, one out, that still means the immigration crisis continues to grow. I mean, even 8-year-olds with basic maths knows that if you've got, say, for instance, we'll take like recently 500 immigrants that come in illegally, yeah, and then you do your one in, one out. So you send 500 of them back, but then you allow 500 of them in legally. The sum total is plus 500. You know, it's a nothing. It's not a gain. It's a fail. But to literally jump up and down, shouting and screaming, and look what we've done. We've sent one back, completely oblivious to the fact that everybody just goes, "Wow, one." And then look at who came in the last week. It's failing. But again, all this, where it's blatantly obvious what they're doing isn't working, and you know, they should go and he should go, and yeah, still there. So the big question has always got to be, what will it take? I mean, there's a scandal about Mandelson, and you know, the person that he's claiming he knew nothing about. And even though the entire country, if not most of the world, were going, it's a really bad idea, you shouldn't do that, because you do know. And apparently now it turns out that Mandelson didn't lie about anything. He laid it all out on the plate, and somehow he passed the security screening. But as I mentioned in a previous video, that was because it looks like Starmer interfered and overruled that thing. And that should be enough. That alone should be enough. Yet he's still there, and no one's doing anything. We all talk about it. We can all see. I think what it is normal. We work on the wrong basis here. We work on the basis of, if you were at work and you did something like that, you would be got rid of. But we're living in Labour virtual reality clown world, where it doesn't matter how shit you are at your job and how many god-awful mistakes you make, you can stay in place. You just don't go anywhere. And now someone will say in the comment section, what about Angela Rayner? Angela Rayner was got rid of not because of what she did, but because of what she was potentially going to become. Keir Starmer and his allies saw her as a threat. Everybody could see her positioning herself to take that role. She made a mistake, which was then compounded by leaks. I wonder where they came from, that put her in a position where she couldn't. And as much as everybody goes, she resigned or she jumped before she was pushed, she was pushed. So Keir Starmer then removes his biggest threat, for the moment, any case. But when you look at people like Yvette Cooper, who miserably failed as Home Secretary and yet got promoted to Foreign Secretary. When you've got a Justice Minister who is a Muslim, who in one of my previous videos has said herself that Islam dictates everything that she does, is now being moved to the Home Office, which now means that she's in charge of the investigation into grooming gangs, predominantly done by Muslim men of Pakistani origin. I mean, this is the same Labour who've discussing that we should just accept Sharia law courts because, you know, diversity. So you can see that Everybody else, doesn't matter how shit you are at your job, everybody just gets moved along to fill things. Half the time to troll us, other times to reward failure. And that's where we should be working it out from. Not from our logical, sensible point of view that he's clearly shit at what they do, get rid of them, because that's what would happen in the real world. In Starmer's VR, or the Labour Party's VR clown world, the more shit you are at the job, the higher the position you should get. Because if you're really shit at your job, and remember that it doesn't even appear, it's clearly the Labour Party's mission to destroy this country, the more shit you are at your job, the better position you should be put in to fuck things over. It's literally that obvious. Literally that obvious. Which is why, after everything that's gone on, Starmer's still in his job. Now, I know I mentioned before when I said the Green Mile video, you know, you can see people saying stuff and, starting to make the rumblings. But even that's not making any difference. There is absolutely zero talk of a vote of no confidence at all. They're not mentioning it, nothing. You see, if there are rumblings of a vote of no confidence, then maybe we should really then start going, Starmer's going to go. He's not going to resign. The man will never resign. He will have to be deposed. So I think we should sort of try and rein it back in a bit when it comes to Starmer's going, because he's just not. Until we hear of building momentum of a vote of no confidence. And even then, that's a bit dodgy. But even that's when you should think, right, that's the time when we should be talking about him going. Because at the moment, it doesn't matter how much of a fuck up he makes. And his entire leadership of the Labour Party has just been one massive clusterfuck. It really has. This Fabian communist scumbag isn't going to go anywhere. He really isn't going to go anywhere. The only people who can get rid of him are the Labour Party themselves, but they're quite happy about the job he's doing, screwing everything up for everybody else. Rachel Reeves is being kept in a job. For all intents and purposes, she's been replaced by Torsten Bell. Torsten Bellend, he's worse. You think he comes up with some really, he's the guy who wants to flip in tax, this, that, and the other. But she's only in a position because she's going to be the fall guy. When this delayed budget comes in November the 26th, I think they said. It's supposed to be in October. It's now November. When that comes, it's going to be the most vicious budget ever. It's really going to hit hard. And Starmer needs somebody to throw under the bus for it. And that's why Rachel is where she is. It's interesting times. I think sometimes we have to temper our expectations. We've got to stop thinking like real world, because it's not real world. They don't live in the real world. What's happening in there right now is not real world. It's VR clown world. So, is he going to go? Maybe. But until there's concrete proof of a vote of no confidence or a potential, not even potential, a genuine, there's a real good chance here, I wouldn't even say potential. There's going to be a leadership challenge, which is, I muted it before because of the discussion with Andy Burnham probably coming in and things like that. Until that's absolutely certain, I think we should just temper our expectation, not get all excited because we so desperately want him gone. We do, everybody does. But as I've said before, just because he's gone doesn't mean anything's going to get better. Doesn't mean the world is everything's going to change in an instant, because it really isn't. And we could get we will get somebody who's even worse. I mean, you could get Bridget Phillipson. I mean, and her entire life and career is based on revenge. So be careful what you wish for. But yeah, I think we need to sort of rein back on expectation and go from there. Right then, in any case, I'm done. Please support the channel down below. If you agree with what I'm doing, you like what I'm doing, just hit the subscribe button, like and share. Be much appreciated. And if you, I mean, I've had a good sub drop. It happens sometimes, you know, and that's absolutely fine. It is what it is. It's the game we play. I've already given up on being like the super duper YouTuber. I'll be quite happy if I ever get to 10,000 subs. But we'll wait and see. It doesn't really matter. As long as we continue to push the message. That's what's important. Unfortunately, just not getting out to enough people. But we'll just keep trying. Any case, catch you in the next one.
You said to me that you can't stand the world you're living in.